All right. So, module 10, lesson 1 is about onboarding and setting expectations for your client. So, this is a lightweight thing. Again, this is really going to depend on your client, your relationship with them, how your bidding process went through. But what I do recommend that no matter who your client or what it is you're working on, that you do some sort of kickoff meeting. Or if you're a highly introverted person, you could do a kickoff email, but you want to make sure that you and your client are both on the same page and that they understand what it is you will or will not be doing for them. You're going to be setting out the timelines and expectations for your duration of work with them, setting up the scope of the project, etc., asking them for what you need to do your work, and really setting yourself up as the expert. So the one thing that I want you to really remember when you're onboarding and you're working with a client is that they have hired you for your expertise, and as such, you are responsible for managing that relationship, not your client. This is something that I actually see with a lot of young freelancers. They expect the client to tell them what they need and what to do because they're thinking like employees, versus an experienced freelancer who says, okay, this is what I think you need, and this is what I need from you in exchange in order to provide it. Right? So I want you to remember that they have hired you to guide them through whatever the process is that you provide, and you therefore need to guide them through the process. So you need to guide them through the kickoff meeting. If you're having an in-person meeting or an online meeting, you should be setting the agenda and you should be guiding them through it, not the other way around. You should be asking for what you need and telling them what you need versus the other way around, right? You should be leading the conversation. That is the ideal way to work with these clients because you are the pro. And when you do that, it's going to be a much smoother transition than if you let the client dictate everything that goes from beginning to end, right? So I want you to start thinking about how you can set expectations and timelines with your work, what sort of systems you can put in place to make that simpler as you move forward. So if that's putting together a template that is like, okay, for a standard web design project, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, give yourself a check sheet, basically a checklist of all the things you need to do to set up and all the information that you need, and then start creating stuff that you can actually give to your client. So like what I did with web design is I had a big form, right? And if it's an online form and it's like put in, upload your logo, upload any content or marketing materials you have that I can pull from and get information. Give me a list of 3 websites that you like the look and feel of. Tell me X, Y, and Z. And I had all of that stuff and they would do that. And I would not start a project before I get that. So that's the last part of today's lesson is, as we said in the last module with the bidding, I highly recommend that you request a deposit or a retainer upfront before you start working for your client. I recommend you not start working until you receive it. And likewise, if there is information you need from the client, such as content or information, photos or marketing materials or whatever it is you need to do your job correctly, do not start the project until you receive it. It's another mistake that I see a lot of freelancers do is they say, well, we started this project and I told them that I needed X, Y, and Z before I could, get to the next step, and they still haven't provided it. So now I'm stuck, and you're like in the middle of this project and you don't know what's going on with the client. Like, just don't start until that's received, and communicate that at the beginning of the project so that your client understands that they are the bottleneck and not you, because clients sometimes get distracted and like to blame their freelancers when the reality is that they are not providing what they were told they needed to provide. But the onus is on you as a freelancer to make sure they know what they need to provide. Makes sense? So, to summarize, what you want to do is you want to come up with some sort of kickoff format, whether that's a meeting or an email. You want to come up with a way that really lays it out for your client and makes it clear what it is that they need to do and what they're getting, right? So that everybody's on the same page. There are no false expectations. They're not expecting you to code a website if you're just a designer who delivers mocks. You want to make sure that that's really clear. And you want to start communicating everything to the client in that manner. And then you want to make sure that they follow through. So they pay you your deposit and they give you the information that you need beforehand. Your part in that is A, making sure that they know exactly what that is, and B, making it as easy as possible to get that to you as you can. So put together an online survey or even just a Word document that's like, these are the 16 items that I need before I can kick off this project, and here's the extended deadlines. Like if you get me this block of information that I have requested from you by May 1st, then I will start work on May 2nd. Right? And lay it all out for them and make sure that they understand what to expect over the time that you're working for them. And then you're pretty much guaranteed a smooth working relationship if you can do that. So that is it for this week. It's super simple. I just want you, as a homework item, to start drafting the materials that you think that would be best, and you'll refine them as you work with specific clients, because it's going to vary a little bit based on project and client. Okay? Enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next module.